small? Isn't that even small?
Oh, hey! I knew somebody was going to hook me up. See? When does the baby do?
Well, it's supposed to be like 4 weeks, but it's probably going to be like any week now.
You ready? You're so small, it's going to go easy.
I know. Well, right now
Just went over to get the box of shirts and look at you.
They go pretty up.
And it's a small. That's our only small.
Oh, she's small.
Oh.
No, I got this. Don't worry about it.
So when are you due then? What is the exact
Supposed to be September 20th, but she's been sideways for weeks. So I'm hoping I don't have to do like a C-section but we'll see.
Sideways, Missy.
I
Hello,
know.
what the heck?
She's like doing
Have you been
several
walking?
cells
Are
in
you still
there.
working or no?
Just light duty, so I'm not walking as much, but yeah.
Where's the other one?
With his grandma.
Good. Grandma's doing an excellent job.
Yeah.
Thank you, my love.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. You're too late. See?
Of course, yeah. Where did you get those shirts?
Oh no,
I
I don't want to be live. I went live. I've been going live this whole time. Do I want to stop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was live, guys. It's not working. Pasadena, California, August 25th.
It feels wild to me that, this is the only way that you can seemingly negotiate employers and raise invoice. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Hello. Hey everyone. Hello. We're gonna get started in like 2 minutes. Start gathering over here. We're gonna get started. So we can have your attention. We will be getting started in 2 minutes. So please, we need your undivided attention. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I didn't realize I started going live.
Started videoing
Yeah, before
20
knowing
minutes
it.
ago.
Before knowing it.
So we have a lot of pictures of the grass.
Footage of the grass.
Are we live?
Yeah, but I accidentally started it before knowing I was starting it.
No, that's okay. That's fine.
Are you, Phil? Yes, Calvin, I'm the vice president. I met you when you were at,
I do want.
okay, I remember meeting. It's just been so long.
Oh, I wanted to take a picture of Calvin up there all by himself, like the Lone Ranger. Like, well, I think we did pretty good. At least it wasn't just the 6 of us or something.
It's on, right?
Yeah. By accident, but
That's all right.
yes, it's on.
We're gonna get started. All we gotta do is just sound. That's it. Let's go.
Are you gonna undress?
No, I'm just nervous. My shoes are kind of loose.
You're gonna be fine.
You'll do great.
I mean, you've been
We're all here cheering for you.
You've been waiting and working for this day. We're here. It's going to be fine. Got a good group out there.
How can I make sure everybody can hear?
Hi.
No, I'm just a supporter here.
Hi there.
Hi.
How are you? Oh,
Hi.
how you doing? My name's Calvin. I'm the vice president.
Oh, hi, Calvin. I'm Reggie. I'm a supporter, but I'm also like a contributor to KPFK 90.7.
Oh,
So,
wow.
nice.
That's going way
Awesome.
back.
Yeah. So I'm here getting I'm gonna just get some clips for a possible story
Nice.
or see we have a labor show.
Okay.
Here, actually, this is the woman that brought me here. She's with Branch 1100.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Calvin Rich, Vice President of Branch 2200.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm a carrier in San Pedro.
Okay, nice to meet you.
The other end of the
Yes. I carry now in Glendale, California.
Oh, good.
The branch is not as big as yours, so.
Thanks for doing this. I'm like,
We're excited.
I'm excited too. I'm wondering, what is my branch doing? I mean, comes from my branch, right?
Yes.
So,
Absolutely. And they're here, James Henry's here,
Yes.
Tony Miller.
Yes.
They do call Perry.
good, good.
We're gonna get ready to go, so.
Good. Thank you for taking the initiative. Yeah. Yes, and I would like to talk to maybe a union member later just to ask about, like, why are you having this rally and how is the lack of a contract affecting you guys?
Well, core.
Okay, so radio show on KPFK called Working Voices.
Okay,
And
so.
she records segments for us.
So
I've only done one. But
Did you want to talk about pickleball?
I'm on my sis. So now's not the time. I'm trying to get
I
this
just
going.
thought I saw a crack.
You would be our point guy to talk about this and ask me questions.
All right. Where are they going?
Sorry, Catherine.
Oh, there's
I'm
1100.
not trying to do interviews. Let's do
There's
it.
1100. Are you want to pull them in?
Huh?
You want to pull them in?
Branch 24.
Oh, they're trying to do a picture?
You want me to get attention?
Yeah, it's okay. I don't think this is gonna go on. No, it's okay.
Calvin can do it with the mic.
I'm going to go.
Because everybody was
You can get a picture of them now if you want. Huh? You can get a picture of them now if you want.
So, who's the group that's making the presentation?
I want to tease him so bad that I want to make him
They already told me you were.
Yeah. I'm sure.
No?
Hello, everyone. How are you? Can everyone hear me? All right. Yeah, we're gonna get started. So, everyone ready?
Yeah!
All right, let's get this show on the road. All right. So, first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Calvin Rich. I'm a letter carrier from the city of Glendale, California, for the post office. I'm speaking in a personal capacity. I'm also the vice president of NALC Branch 2200 out in Pasadena, California. Thank you. Yeah, we basically organized this this contract rally with the help of a few other Southern California branches out there that are, I can see they're clearly in the attendance. I see some shirts that are recognized. We also collaborated with a couple of movements out there that you guys might be familiar with. One of them is called the Build the Fighting NALC movement, the BFN movement. If you haven't heard about it, they're out there tabling. There's plenty of information where you can get informed, educated. There's the Concerned Letter Carriers group, which are also out here. I see some shirts out there. Yeah, they're doing some good work. They're out here. So yeah, with that being said, brothers and sisters, let's get down to it. This is why we're here, right? Are we happy that it's now been over 462 days since our collective bargaining agreement expired with our employer, the United States Postal Service?
No!
When the COVID-19 pandemic took over and letter carriers were deemed essential workers, did we get essential pay?
No!
Did we get hazard pay?
No!
And when this contract expired back in May 2023, did the Postal Service rush to the bargaining table and reward us with a fair wage increase that would allow us to offset inflation and high cost of living conditions?
No!
Has our employer done anything to protect us from a rising number of robberies, assaults, thefts, and even murders committed against letter carriers while we deliver our routes?
No!
Has the Postal Service done anything to address the workplace harassment committed by supervisors against you just because they did not agree with how long it'll take you to complete your routes?
No!
Has the Postal Service attempted to do anything to make sure you have the necessary tools and training and safe working conditions while delivering the mail in extreme hot weather conditions?
No! Not at all.
It's time to fight back against poor working conditions and pay that hasn't kept up with inflation and high cost of living. Now we have to let the powers that be, we have to let the Postal Service know that there is power in numbers. There is power in us. When I say union, you say power. Union.
Power!
Union.
Power!
When I say worker, you say power. Worker.
Power!
Worker.
Power!
All right, brothers. So
Sisters.
and sisters.
Thank you.
Sorry. Brothers and sisters. So there's going to be a few guest speakers here that a lot of you will recognize. Unfortunately, there was one speaker that couldn't make it here. Her name is Congresswoman Judy Chu. Last minute, a few days ago, unfortunately, she had a family member pass away. So she wanted us to inform you that she couldn't be here and she regretted it. But, you know, we understand. She has helped us out a lot, at least here in Pasadena. She's our congressional district representative. So she just wanted to relay that information over. So we do have James Henry, our national vice president, here. We also have past president emeritus from Branch 1100, James Henry. Charlie Miller. We have Branch 2200 president, Sarab Karchikian, my mentor. We have city carrier assistant, Branch 2902 Tri-Valley member, Rob Darakian. And then we also had another special guest speaker. Her name is Laura Garza. She's from the Freight Rail Conductors Smart Transportation Division, Local 1544. She's here to stand in solidarity with us and our cause. So give it up for her. All right. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker. He's been a shop steward since 2009, a letter carrier since 2006, out of the Glendale Verdugo Viejo station, a former Branch 2200 vice president, and now our current branch president. He's a good friend, a mentor, like I said. Everyone give it up for branch president Sarab Karchikian.
How's everyone doing today? Awesome. Thank you guys very much for coming out here and supporting our rally. And also special thanks to my Vice President, Calvin Rich, and Secretary Treasurer, Nancy Norman. Right? Without them, we couldn't have held this rally, so they helped out tremendously. And Amy Lee, of course, our Financial Secretary. So they've been doing an excellent job putting everything together, helping us out with the permit, you know, getting the word out. So how about we give them a big round of applause for all the hard work. Thank you guys so much. So just show of hands, how many employees have been a CCA with the post office? Well, it's quite a bit, about half the crowd here. So one of the things we kind of want to talk about is, you know, the hard time CCAs went through. You know, we know the post office makes it really hard for CCAs, right? You guys work crazy amount of hours, right? Helping out everyone, working, you know, 7-10 days straight a week, you know, without getting any days off. And all of that needs to change. You know, we definitely want to make a change, help life easier, make life easier for CCAs, right? Help with the retention rates, and a lot of that comes from having a good contract. Okay, so we can establish certain rules, memorandums, whatnot that give you guys relief. Okay, so we're definitely going to be making some changes, hopefully in the future. Okay, but yeah, it's really tough, you know, and one of the biggest things is the starting wage. You know, we definitely know what's going on, right? You guys are definitely underpaid. And, you know, with hopefully if we get a decent contract, all that will change. You know, our staffing will get better nationwide, so everyone's not working all these crazy hours and, not having enough time to spend with their families, going to events or whatever else it may be. Okay, so definitely looking out for you guys. One other thing I wanted to talk about was to protect our Letter Carriers Act, right? So as you guys know, we've had a lot of issues, burglaries, robberies, assaults, and all that on letter carriers, right? We experienced it nationwide. Just again, with the show of hands, how many of you either have been robbed or know of an employee that's been robbed or a vehicle being broken into? Wow, that is a big number, right? So if you guys don't know, right now we have that Protect the Letter Carrier Act, right? So what we want to do is we want to make the public aware of what's going on, right? So they can kind of help us out too, okay? Because not only is it affecting letter carriers, right? It's also affecting the public because their mail's ultimately getting stolen, right? And then it could lead to identity theft, all sorts of other issues for them, you know? So they need to be on the lookout, help us out, just so it helps them out in the future. Okay, so if you guys haven't done so already, you know, reach out to your congressional individuals, let them know to support the Protect the Letter Carriers Act, right? This is really, really important, and it needs to stop, right? These criminals need to be held accountable, right? They need to be sent to jail because any assault on a letter carrier is a federal felony, you know, and the public needs to understand that, okay? So this stops. I mean, we've even had carriers get murdered in certain parts of the country, which is ridiculous, right? We're out there doing a public service job, right? Helping out our communities, and this shouldn't be happening to us at all. So definitely get the word out, you know, let the public know, let your customers know with what's going on, okay? So they can help us get this Protect the Letter Carriers Act passed, okay? So this way local law enforcement's involved, you know, they can kind of step up with the postal inspectors, make their staffing a little bit better so they can investigate, catch these individuals and put a stop to all this. Okay, so yeah, definitely get the word out, let everyone know, because not only does it affect us, right, it also affects the public. So, and then, other than that, I think that's all I'm gonna be touching up about. We do have some more guest speakers that are gonna be touching up on other stuff. So I'll pass the mic on to Calvin, and then he can introduce our other speakers. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, everyone. Saurabh Karchikian, branch president. Give it up. Thank you, brother. All right. So our next speaker is, her name is Laura Garza, Freight Rail Conductor, Smart Transportation Division, Local 1544. She's wanted to take a few minutes and stand in solidarity with our cause. Give it up for Laura.
Thank you. I'm proud to stand with you all. A friend of mine told me about this happening. I brought someone from another union, the Bakery and Confectionery Workers Union. He works at See's Candy. And I think a lot of workers are facing what you all are facing. We had a contract shoved down our throats by the president and Congress a couple of years ago after we tried to go on strike. But the fact that we stood up and we fought and people learned for the first time that rail workers had no paid sick days, that we had very difficult time getting time off, that you could get in trouble if you got sick, etc. That helped to put enough pressure on the carriers that now we do have some paid sick days. And we're continuing to fight over the questions of safety. They want to make the trains longer and longer and the crews smaller and smaller. To the point where they want to just have one person alone for 12 hours in a cab of a train that might be 3 miles long going over the Cajon Pass. It's dangerous for the people on the train, and it's dangerous for the communities the trains go through. And that's part of what we're fighting around. And we know that it's just us standing up and talking to other working people that has made the difference in pushing back on what the carriers are doing. So I think what you all are doing is very important. I think solidarity among all workers. More workers are standing up today to fight back because more bosses are doing the same kind of thing. They've been pushing overtime, forced overtime, making it hard to get time off, to be with your family. That's one of the big things on the railroad. We don't have set schedules, most of us. You don't know. You're going to be gone for 2 days, back 12 hours, gone for 2 days on trains. And that makes it very difficult to see small children, to go to a baseball game, anything like that. That's what we've been fighting for, is basic human conditions that you could have a family and see the family. And I think what you all are fighting for, you're in a similar situation over. We've all suffered the inflation, etc. So I came out today because, as I said, a friend of mine told me about it. I think it's important what you all are doing, standing up and fighting back. It's going to be the appeal to other working people who know the conditions that many of us are facing, that will help push back what the bosses are attempting to do. Two other things, there are two other fights going on in the region. I know right close to the rail yard where I work over in Commerce and Vernon off Washington Boulevard, there's a strike by Monogram. It's a United Auto Workers. It's at Bandini and Garfield. If you get by there anywhere, stop by their picket lines. They have it up 24 hours a day. I think the company offered them something like 40 cents an hour raise. It's an insult, and they are fighting to get a real decent raise. Smart and Final workers voted in the union. The company refused to, the warehouse workers refused to recognize it, and is saying they're going to move their warehouse to Rancho Cucamonga in a year, and they can all reapply for their jobs basically at a starting wage that would be $10 an hour less than what they're making. So they've been picketing in front of the warehouse on Sheila Avenue, but also at the stores, telling people don't shop there because they're in this fight. So I think the more we stand together with each other, the stronger we are. And I want to thank you all for being here, inviting me to say a few words. And I think it's important to have solidarity and to speak for ourselves and fight for ourselves and join whatever fights are going on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone give it up for Laura Garza. Thank you, sister. Definitely. We definitely want to stand in solidarity with other local crafts that are basically dealing with the same issues, right? And she touched up on just like the lack of work-life balance that CCAs have, that even some regular carriers, right? We get mandated all the time, and I think that's something that definitely needs to be addressed in our contract as well. Our next guest is a city carrier assistant, a member of NALC branch, Tri-Valley 2902. He is a coordinator of the Build the Fighting NALC movement, BFN. He has helped Alabama Amazon workers unionize in the South. He was instrumental in answering any questions I had to organize this rally. The BFN movement was also able to get more than 40 branches and 2 state associations to support the open bargaining resolution, which authorizes things like this, contract rallies. And it was presented at the Boston Convention this year. I look forward to working with him and the BFN movement in the future. Sisters and brothers, give it up for Rob the Rockian. All right.
All right.
Come on, I know it's hot out here, but let's get some energy up, all right? Yeah. I'm going to say, what do we want? Contract. When do we want it? Now. What do we want?
Contract.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Contract.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we deserve? Contract. When do we want it?
Now.
All right. So like Calvin said with that very generous introduction, my name is Rob. I'm a CCA way out there in Newbury Park, branch 2902, and I'm very happy to be here with all of you today. Normally I'm working on Sundays. I'm sure many of you here were CCAs, you know what that's like. The sad fact of the matter is I have to work Sundays to get by. When I don't work more than 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week, when I get my paycheck, I'm choosing between groceries and rent. Is that fair?
No.
Is that what we deserve?
No.
We're all struggling, and we're all here because we are sick and tired of waiting. Postmaster DeJoy and the USPS management watch them on scanners talking about their fancy 10-year plan. Meanwhile, they let us continue without a contract for well over a year. It's time to let them know we are not going to be silent anymore. We will not just sit by while they sit in Washington, D.C., talking and talking and talking while we suffer the increased cost of living. Inflation has gone up 20% in the time since our contract expired last May. That means we've taken a pay cut of 20%. Is that fair?
No.
Is that right?
No.
You bet it isn't. And that's why rallies like this are so important.
As Calvin mentioned, back during the pandemic, I wasn't a letter carrier back then. I was working in a grocery store, but they called us essential workers. They said, thank the letter carrier. Thank you for keeping businesses run. We kept medicine going to elderly people in our communities. We got bills out there. We kept society functioning. And did we get anything?
No.
Did we get hazard pay?
No.
I know the headlines are coming. I think you know all of them too. The election's coming up. They're going to say, God bless our letter carriers. They make democracy run. Joe's going to get up there and say the same thing. I will already tell you my response. Keep your cheap words. We want action. We want a contract. We want a raise.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous what we've had to suffer. And I mentioned before, this rally, I think, is more important than all of you know. What happens during contract negotiations? We're used to sitting back and waiting. We have waited long enough. This contract rally doesn't just end today. This is the beginning. This is a turning point in our union. We need to take it back. We need to make sure that every letter carrier feels like they're engaged in this union, because the power of our union lies in each and every one of you. Our power is in our combinations. Our power is in our numbers. We are over 200,000 strong. We shouldn't have to deal with what we've had to deal with this past year. It's absurd.
That's right.
As I mentioned, I'm a member of Build the Fighting NALC. What's Build the Fighting NALC? We are a group of letter carriers dedicated to organizing the rank and file to be active in their union, to fight to make it a fighting union, a militant union. We came together in January of this year. Branch 9 in Minneapolis, they passed a resolution calling for open bargaining. Open bargaining means that when there's negotiations going on, we have to know what's going on. If we know what's going on, we can then do stuff like this. We can put pressure. We can leverage our power, leverage our relationship with the community, with the people who see us every day to help fight and win the best contract possible. We take inspiration from the rank and file movement led by Vincent Sombrado, which came out of the 1970 postal strike. We're in solidarity with the CLC, with individuals like Mike Cariff, with every single letter carrier who wants to transform this union into a fighting union, who doesn't want to be told, just come to the meetings, just do what we tell you, who wants to be active, who wants to fight.
Nice.
We organized Zoom meetings over the spring and early summer with hundreds of letter carriers across the country. Calvin mentioned it, over 40 branches and state associations passed open bargaining. I believe Pasadena 2200 passed it as well. And with that leverage, we went into our national convention and we got the executive council to concede to open bargaining. They had spent months arguing against it, but they were afraid. They didn't want to lose a floor vote. And now we have the right to open bargain. We have the right to accept communication. We have the right to really be a factor in our contract negotiations, not just receive word secondhand. As I mentioned, this is just the beginning. Build the Fighting NALC has an interim coordinating committee and a broader set of demands. We call for a $30 an hour starting wage, an end to mandatory overtime, for union officers to take the average worker's wage of the people they represent, for the right to strike. The strike weapon is our most important weapon. It's illegal for us to strike, but we can fight to overturn that in our contract. This fight is not just about our contract right now, it's about preserving this job in the future. We all know DeJoy's plan. He wants to privatize the post office. Exactly. He wants to make this job like Amazon. I used to work for Amazon delivering. Do you know what they do? They chew through people like meats, like a meat grinder. Throw them out there, see if they last a couple months. That's his vision. He wants to turn this into a low-paying job with minimum wage and no benefits. Are we going to let him do that?
No!
So, if you're interested in learning more about BFN, I encourage you to check out our table back there. I won't go on much longer. I know it's hot and everybody got your Sunday, got your family day and all that. But I want to just say one thing. The labor movement was built on an idea. That idea was an injury to one of us is an injury to all of us. Like the previous speaker just said, it's important that we come together as letter carriers and fight for our immediate task. That is to win the strongest possible contract. But we need to go beyond that. We need to be a part of this broader labor resurgence we see across the country. Teamsters, organizing, doing contract rallies like this, winning a contract. The UAW, under Sean Fain, organizing the South, winning unprecedented gains in their contract. We should stand shoulder to shoulder with them. The NALC can be at the forefront of the labor movement like we used to be, but we have to get organized. We have to continue this fight. And I urge every single one of you, get involved. Talk to people who are with the CLC. Talk to BFN. Go to your branch meetings. Because again, our power comes in our unity. Our power comes in our combination. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you having me. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you.
Everyone give it up for Rob the Rockian. Yeah, he's gonna be someone in this union, and he's one that advocates for the letter carriers, and obviously he's a letter carrier. We all do, but I really do see that passion in him. So I thank him for being here, and I definitely wanted you guys to hear from him, because I've heard him do these speeches, and I'm always amazed and impressed. All right, so our next guest speaker has spent over 45 years fighting for the letter carriers. He is President Emeritus of NALC Branch 1100 Garden Grove and National Arbitration Advocate. I just found out a few weeks ago that Branch 1100 named the union after him, which is impressive and definitely well-deserved. It's my privilege to give it up for NALC Arbitration Advocate Charlie Miller.
Wow, what a dynamic, amazing speaker that just came up. How many retirees do we have out here? And the reason why I ask is we're standing in solidarity with you all with this contract. Is that it? All right. We're standing in solidarity with all the active carriers out here for a decent and fair contract. I've been asked to come up and speak a little bit about the history. You asked the old guys to talk about history, right? Got it. About the history of where we used to be, so you know where we can go and what is fair. When I started working at the Postal Service in 1980, I was 25 years old and I just came out of the Marine Corps. I made $17,680 a year. At that time, the average wage in America was $12,000 a year. I made a living wage. In 1981, I bought my first new car. In 1982, I bought my first home. I had a premium health benefit plan. And I had enough money to take my first Hawaiian vacation. By 1988, I was at top wage. I made $27,949 a year. The average wage in America at the time was $19,334. I made over $8,000 more than the average American as a letter carrier. In 1990, we bought our forever home. In 10 years of working at the Postal Service, I achieved the American dream. Today, letter carriers face a different reality. Through a series of contract negotiations, due to a $5 billion a year Bush-era pre-funding mandate that placed the Postal Service on the verge of insolvency, it has driven wages so low that letter carriers are living on a subsistence wage. You know what a definition of a subsistence wage is? You're literally living from hand to mouth. You have no room. As the brother said, he's working 50 hours a week as a CCA, and he has to make a choice between groceries and rent. That's not an option that letter carriers should have. Letter carriers today should have the same rights, the same wage, the same privileges that I had when I came to work in 1980. Whatever we've lost in past contracts, now's the time to regain it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
In 2022, the average wage in the U.S. was $63,795. Starting pay for a letter carrier is $46,038, a $17,000 less than the average American wage, which I think is completely deplorable. As a matter of fact, my whole 45 years in the NALC was to build a better union. The whole purpose of a union is to take care of our membership. And I'm ashamed and embarrassed to say that we haven't done a very good job over the past few contracts. We have to turn things around. We have to take a different approach. I applaud the Build a Fighting Union. Who would think that you would have to have a movement in the NALC called Build a Fighting Union? I'm appalled that we even need to have that. We should be a fighting union. We've always been a fighting union in the past. I don't know what happened to us. I don't understand how far we have fallen, how that occurred. But I do know this. It's going to be up to all of you here, all of us working together, active, retired letter carriers, the community, everyone working together to put letter carriers back where they need to be. Where we can go back to the days where people used to line up around the block to get a job as a letter carrier. Now we got to frickin' have, excuse the French, what's that called? Career days. All right? There was never a career day in my day. We didn't have to go out begging people to join the Postal Service. People wanted to come because it was a good job. So let me close with this. The money's there for it. In 2023, the Postal Service had its all-time high in revenue. $72 billion. That's what it brought in, $72 billion. The money is there for a substantial pay raise. What does any other company do in America when their expenses go up, when their labor costs go up? They pass it on to their customers. Social change has taken place. Today our customer isn't Mr. and Mrs. Jones on Elm Street. They're doing what everyone else does. They pay their bills online. They send their Christmas greetings and holiday greetings online, their birthday greetings online. They order products for their home online. Our customer today is the multi-trillion-dollar e-commerce industry. In my day, delivering 2 or 3 packages in one day was a big deal for us. We were asking for overtime. All right. Today, I see you guys loading up 4, 5, and 6 gurneys of packages into your vehicles. The dynamic has changed. First-class mail volume is 50% of what it used to be, but we're still raking in astronomical amounts of money, $72 billion. This year alone, we're projected at being at $84 billion in revenue. The money is there. What they need to do is to pass the expense on to the multi-trillion-dollar e-commerce industry. We're a form of government welfare to that industry. Our rates are so low that Amazon and UPS, what do? They dump their bypass onto us. They're still making a profit by having us deliver their mail. We need to raise those rates. And raising those rates will free up the money to give everyone a living wage that puts on the blues. That's our goal. That's where we should be. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let me introduce somebody that I've known for 35 years. We've rode together on many adventures over the years. As I was first met James back in the early or late 80s, early 90s, under some unfortunate circumstances. But we fought our way through that, and he became a shop steward. He became a leader in the branch. He went from shop steward to area steward to executive board member to vice president, senior vice president, arbitration advocate. He's got almost 200 arbitrations under his belt with an 80% success rate. He's a warrior. He's a fighter. He is somebody that we need to lead us into the new reality that we need to achieve for letter carriers, and that is James Henry.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
Good.
Well, the one thing that has been evident today is that not only do we have brothers and sisters in the union, but we actually have activists.
Yes.
Some people may say, well, there is really not that much going on in the union. People don't care. That is not true, and it is evident by you being here today. Each and every one of you could have chosen to be anywhere today, and you chose to be here and stand up for those that cannot or unable to stand up for themselves and push the fact that we need change and that we need a contract. And I want to thank Charlie for his introduction. It is really, really good to see that the NALC in and of itself is going to be in good hands. I remember when I used to be the young kid on the block, showing up at 19, 20, 22, or 22, 23 years old. And then we see young man like Rob, a CCA that's out here fighting for what needs to be fought for. And that is for better wages for the letter carrier. The one thing is that I want to point out to you that the CLC and my visions that we have and convictions about is that the city letter carriers be industry leaders in pay, benefits, and working conditions. I'll say that again. All right? I'll say that again. That city letter carriers be industry leaders in pay, benefits, and working conditions. And that's just not a pipe dream. As far as we're concerned, that's not optional. That is a demand that we want to place on us. Let me make my case for the future and explain why we should be the industry leaders. First and foremost, we are essential service providers to the community and the economy. The government even recognized that during COVID, did it not? Yeah. We were there when some didn't even want to be there, but we showed up and showed out anyway, did we not?
Yeah. We did.
Letter carriers are the backbone of the multi-trillion-dollar e-commerce industry. We provide communities across the country a sense of well-being. When disaster strikes, what's the first sign of normalcy? A letter carrier in uniform making their rounds. And like I said, you don't have to go back to the turn of the century. It was just a few years ago with COVID. During the pandemic, Americans could see that we're there making our rounds. It gave people confidence that things would return to normal. A social change has occurred. Mr. and Mrs. Appleton on Jones Streets are paying their bills online. As Charlie was saying, they send their holiday and birthday greetings through social media. They shop online. They communicate by email. And most of you can even say, you can't even hardly get a written out invite anymore. You get e-invites and you get e-cards, things of that nature. Yep. First class mail volume has dropped by 50%. And the decline is coming. What is remarkable is that revenues have increased dramatically. 2023 was a record-breaking year, as we were pointing out here, that $72 billion in revenue in 2024, and we are on course to make the projected $80 billion this year. What has been generating records revenue is the multi-trillion-dollar e-commerce. The demand is so great, and our rates are low, and our competition makes the USPS their last mile of delivery. Clearly, there is a capacity issue within the delivery industry when Amazon, UPS, and FedEx, with the USPS, their main competitor. The United States Postal Service is the go-to delivery service for all parcels under 2 pounds with the best rates. And with its universal service requirement, it delivers to areas underserved by the competition. This has made letter carriers an indispensable part of the economy, delivering almost 24 million packages per day. The United States Postal Service delivery network of over 164 million households and businesses cannot function without letter carriers. Give yourself a hand about that. Without letter carriers, packages don't get delivered. In turn, people will stop buying online, which would distress the entire e-commerce industry and 25% of the U.S. economy. The evolution of the Postal Service from first-class mail to small parcel delivery has secured long-term career employment for city letter carriers. It's important to define the role of the union. The sole purpose of the union is to improve the lives of its members by raising your standards of living, providing benefits like a secure retirement, premium health care, time for rest and relax and recreation, and when you're incapacitated, time from recovery, even if it's not for pregnancy. With respect to working conditions, the work we do is hard. There's no dispute about that. And we should be rewarded, not beaten down with arbitrary expectations that seem to change daily. Every city carrier deserves a properly adjusted assignment and a fair work expectation. In return, we agree to give a fair day's work for a fair day's pay.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, we are underpaid. Let me start with the CCAs. As my brother Rob had so aptly stated and articulated, they are the NLC members, and they deserve to make a living wage, not fast food wages. Personally, I am ashamed and embarrassed that our union accepts full dues from these people and we don't properly provide for them. To me, the choice is simple. We either pay these members a living wage or go to an all-career workforce.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are not doing very well on the career side either. We have interviewed career letter carriers who are on public assistance, some with second jobs and some living out of their cars because they cannot make it on the wages they earn as an NLC member. And that is a fact that may sound so far-fetched, but I can tell you there's been times that I've attended on food drive day, and I've seen letter carriers in need of getting some of the food that we pick up. They cannot make it on the wages they earn as NLC members working for the post office. This must change. We must improve that standard of living for all members, especially those on the lower end of Tier 2 who are in critical need. It currently takes 6 years for them to make a living wage and almost half of their career to make top salary. We are at the boiling point when it comes to benefits. If you're on a subsistence wage, you cannot afford anywhere from $125 to $250 per pay period for health care. Low pay and increasing health care costs are causing the numbers of uninsured letter carriers to progressively increase. Our retirement plan depends on the employer to match voluntary contributions up to 5%. When your wages is low, that 60 to 70% of your earnings goes to paying rent. You don't have an extra 5% for retirement savings. There is no point to having benefits if you cannot afford to use them. At the top of the scale, we are lacking as well. UPS drivers who do half of the job we do will top out at $49 per hour at the end of their current contract. Our current contract has top salary letter carriers, technicians, peaking at $38.59 per hour. Now, I heard somebody that was responding to about, they're saying boo. But I'm gonna steal a line from Obama. Don't boo, what? Vote. And this is your opportunity to be able to make change by voting for people that are aligned with our vision about letter carriers and their needs. At what time we are only a couple of dollars behind UPS drivers, and today it's over $10 per hour difference. There is no parity with those in similar industry. And with every 1% something pay increases, we fall further behind. We deserve better. Our current situation is unsatisfactory, and we have dug a deep hole. However, we can climb out of it one ring of the ladder at a time. The first step is rallying the membership behind our cause and keeping them informed. And this here is a vital and first step in doing that for you guys here today. Thank you for being here. Give yourself a hand. Woo! Secrecy is counterproductive for furthering the cause of economic justice for our members. Withholding essential information causes members to feel isolated from their union, leading to unfounded speculations and dissension within the ranks. On the other hand, when you keep the membership in the loop, they are more likely to remain motivated, engaged, and supportive of the union cause. Next is being willing to lay out our case to anyone who will listen. There is no shame in asking for what we deserve. Who cares what our enemies say? They are going to talk smack regardless. It's more important our friends understand our position and provide support. I'm gonna say that again. It does not matter what our enemies feel. It's more important that our friends understand what our position is and what we're fighting for. To our cause, economic justice for letter carriers. Once we lay out our case to management, we grind constantly until the contract expires, and we continue to grind during the mediation period. This is an important part of the process that shouldn't be dismissed. The mediator simply facilitates the discussions to assist the parties in negotiating the contract. If even there was to be a lockdown period, this is it. Once that is completed, we move directly into the arbitration phase. After 5 months of negotiations, there should be nothing new to talk about. It's time to come to an agreement or arbitrate. What did old folks used to say? It's either time to poop or get off the pot. We show no fear and move forward with the confidence of climbing out of this hole. This is the process we have. There is no advantage to long, drawn-out negotiations over months and even years. If you're well prepared and believe in your cause, you simply get it done and come back again and again until you accomplish the mission. Some may say that our goals are ambitious. Considering the USPS lost $6 billion last year, while that may be true, it's also the United States Postal Service had a record-breaking revenue of over $72 billion last year. Taking both numbers at face value means that the total operating budget for the United States Postal Service is approximately $78 billion. Projections are USPS revenue will reach $81.7 billion in 2024. Do you see where I'm going with this? The fact that revenues will continue to climb with the United States Postal Service receiving a greater and greater share of e-commerce shipping requirements, the money is there for letter carriers to have a living wage. I would be remiss if I did not point out that Amtrak is a federal agency and runs at a loss, but the union who represents its workers won 30% general wage increase over the life of their agreement, 10 weeks paid parental leave, 33 days paid vacation, and improvements to bereavement leave. The difference between Amtrak, what's the difference between Amtrak and the USPS? Amtrak had revenue of $36 billion compared to United States Postal Service revenue of $72 billion. Here's the bottom line. City letter carriers deserve to be industry leaders in pay, benefits, and working conditions. I'm going to say that again so you can repeat it on the floor. City letter carriers deserve to be industry leaders in pay, benefits, and working conditions. The most recent Postal Regular Organization Act gave the service greater flexibility to set rates. So the money is there to pay us what we deserve. Every letter carrier, I don't care if you're a one-day CCA or 35-year senior regular, deserves to make a living wage. As I often say here, that I am here with CLC, I'm here on my own, but the fact of the matter is, I will not only, and the CLC and the other organizations will not only fight for you, we will fight with you. God bless you. Take care.
Everyone give it up for National Vice President James Henry. And as you heard, there are movements and groups out there that are fighting for you guys, for fighting for letter carriers and our rights and our wages and our pays. And if you want more information, there is a concernedlettercarriers.com website. Go check it out. They're doing great things out there. There's also a Build the Fighting NALC movement, the BFN movement. They're definitely check that out. They're doing national Zoom meetings so we can join on there and educate ourselves. And I guess the last thing I want to say is I just want to give it up for everyone who took their time on a Sunday to come out here and make your voices heard. Give it up for yourselves. We didn't know what we were going to expect when we invited everyone, when we started kind of organizing this thing. And I just want you to know that I see a lot of my members out there. The 7 cities that we represent here in Branch 2200, I see a lot of folks from different branches that I recognize. I saw someone in the crowd that's from San Diego. I see you. I see you, brother Ricardo Guzman, branch president. I see someone from Branch 2502, Brian Riggs from Las Vegas, Nevada. There are individuals who came out here from all longs away. James Henry from Washington, D.C., who took the time, you know, and I think that they know, letter carriers know that when we do things like this, it really shows the membership that we are fighting for you, that we're listening to you. I've had carriers on the workroom floor come up to me and ask me what's going on with the contract, and I absolutely don't know anything with what's going on with that, and that's not okay. And things like this will build pressure for national so they can hear our voices and push the envelope. And I'm also hoping that it's going to spark something. Locals, we're live streaming this. I want locals out there across the country to see this and to recognize that when we do this and we organize and we spread this thing like wildfire, that we're going to make some noise and we're going to make some progress and we're going to change things. And we're not going to wait for anyone else to come and save us. We're going to save ourselves. We're going to fight for ourselves. And I just want to thank you for coming out here. So yeah, with that being said, I won't take any more of your time. Reach out to Branch President Sabrab Kirchikian or myself, our members for Branch 2200. We have general membership meetings the second Wednesdays of the month, and we have steward training meetings the first Wednesdays of the month. So get yourself some information and get informed, get activated, and participate. Thank you so much. Get home safe. Enjoy the city of Pasadena if you're not from here, and get home safe. Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you for coming.
Honey, when?
Like 4 more weeks.
Congratulations.
Thank you. How are you?
Really good.
Yeah, any day now, really.
Good.
Anything.
Good to see you, honey. You
Good
look
to
great.
see you. What? Did he just show up?
I don't know what to do in Pasadena.
I'm not too familiar with this city either. Live streaming.
Well, you know,
Crazy conditions. We outside the hotel.
Hey, Sarah, ask everybody to gather so we can take a group picture. But again, that's what it means.
It's not on. Is the mic off?
Hey guys, if I could have everyone's attention, we want to take a group picture of everyone. Hey guys, if I could have your attention, please. If you guys don't mind gathering around, we want to take a group picture.
We want to take a group picture.
Okay, group picture so we can get this stuff posted, okay? So if you guys don't mind, gather around so we can take a group picture. Hey guys, yeah, come over here.
Where's
us.
Oh, he said it's
So we can get a big group picture before you guys take off.
Figured if he's here, I'd probably be at the playground.
Yeah, the front.
Where are we going? Right there?
Wherever you guys can.
I guess there's more people over here. Over here! By the house or facility.
Come on down. You guys, come on down so we can get a big group picture.
I made him
Don't let him drag you down.
I'm so sorry.
You can't, that's what you said. I
Oh, thank you. San one of my favorite officers.
Okay, you guys are gonna have to squeeze in. I don't think we have a camera that big.
You shy?
Right now, she's hungry.
Maybe we could do a panorama.
Are you the director of photography here?
No, definitely not. Nancy, scoot everyone in. How do I zoom out? Are you taking the picture? Are Are you taking the picture?
Well, I'm just
Or
for myself.
Oh, okay.
I'm not official.
Okay. Let's scooch in, and then people in the front just go down. Please. I'll take it, I guess. Are you taking it? Oh, I was in your way, Carolyn. No, you're fine.
Wait. Carol,
I got it.
It gets stuck.
Connie!
Can you scoot in a little bit? One, 2, 3.
You want to hop in there? We'll take a picture of you.
Oh, sure.
You mean the photographers now?
Yeah. Nice. Thank you. Did you have sunshade all day?
I did.
Good.
I did.
I know, I got one of them.
Bye. Thanks for coming. I will.
Say bye to Amy.
I will. Bye. I don't think I've ever met him in real life, did I?
I don't think so. His chocolate mustachio.
Chocolate mustache.
Hair. Nice seeing you.
Good to see you too. Thanks for coming. Huh? It's supposed to be 4 weeks, but it could be any week now, I feel like.
That was 8 months.
What's that?
The son was 8 months.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah. Good. See ya.
Time no see, man. Been all right? Oh, wow. You coming back?
Yeah, no.
No, I'm joking. I know that. I know that.